Hello everybody and welcome back to the Health Ed YouTube channel. It's been a minute, but we are back with another video. For those of you who don't know me, I am Hannah and I'm one of the health educators here with the Health Education program. I apologize if the lighting is a little funky in here. It's a really rainy day outside and the lighting that I have going on is a little spooky, but we're coming up on October, so I think it works. For today's video, I'm pretty excited because today, Wednesday, September 30th, it is actually Ask a Stupid Question Day. So if you don't know, on some of our program pages like Health Education and The Spot, we go over a lot of these sometimes weird and quirky holidays. And yeah, so when I saw that today was Ask a Stupid Question Day, I thought, well, what if we use this opportunity to go over some dumb or stupid sex ed questions? And the whole point is that most of these questions aren't dumb or stupid at all. You've probably heard myself and my coworkers say 1,000 times that there is no such thing as a dumb question when it comes to sex ed, and we really, really mean it. And when we tell you that we've heard everything, we've heard everything. I promise you can't shock us. So for today's video, I'm going to be going over 10 dumb sex ed questions that actually aren't dumb at all and are very common. You may have had these questions yourself, or if you're older, you might think, oh, this is something that I wish I had learned when I was younger, or that I wasn't so afraid or shy to ask. And I hope that you do have that thought, because that's the entire point of this video. So I got some of these questions from BuzzFeed, there was an article, and also Reddit, but then I also asked my coworkers what questions they might have heard in the classroom, what things I've heard, and then I also put it out there on social media. So I compiled these from a lot of different places. Number 1, can sperm travel through water / through clothes and get someone pregnant? We actually touched on this question when we did our sexual health trivia. That's because there's this scene in Glee where one character tells another character that she got pregnant because her boyfriend ejaculated in the hot tub next to her and that it swam through the water and got her pregnant. Spoiler alert, he was not the dad. He did not get her pregnant because you cannot get pregnant that way. So the first part of this question is, can sperm travel through water and get somebody pregnant? And the answer to that is no. It would die in the water before it could get to the vagina and swim up the vagina and fertilize the person's egg. Likewise, it is very, very unlikely that someone could get pregnant through clothing, such as underwear. So the only case that this could happen is if the person has ejaculated and the underwear or the clothing is completely saturated with semen, and then the person's vagina touches that material. That's the only case that maybe it could happen, but in general, with this question, can you get pregnant through clothes or in water? The answer is no. However, technically, anytime a vagina comes in contact with semen, there is a risk of pregnancy. And then remember that there is, of course, the chance of STIs whenever you have fluids entering the body. So just keep that in mind. Number 2, can you get pregnant from pre-ejaculate? So pre-ejaculate, or pre-cum as you may have heard it, is the fluid that is released from the penis when a person is aroused, and this happens before ejaculation. So that's why it's called pre-ejaculate, because it actually happens before ejaculation actually happens. Pre-ejaculate does not come from the testes like semen, but it can contain sperm because both semen and pre-ejaculate travel through the urethra. So there can be some cross-contamination, so to speak, and that's how pre-ejaculate can actually carry sperm. So although the chances of pregnancy from pre-ejaculate are low, it is possible. Pre-ejaculate can also transmit STIs, and most people cannot tell when they have pre-ejaculated, which is just another reason why the pull-out method or the withdrawal method is not a reliable form of birth control. Number 3, can you get pregnant from oral or anal sex? It is not possible to get pregnant from oral sex, even if semen is swallowed. and technically it is not possible to get pregnant from anal sex either. However, if sperm were to enter the vagina by accident because ejaculation has happened close to the vagina, for example, it is possible. Also remember, we're going to keep coming back to this point, also remember that a person can't get pregnant through oral or anal sex. STIs can be spread this way. And just because a person can't get pregnant through anal sex doesn't mean that you shouldn't still be using protection, because the risk of STIs is still there. Number 4, we get this question a lot, and I think a lot of the times it comes off as a joke, or some people might dismiss it because they think that it's just somebody trying to be funny or trying to shock you as the educator or something like that. But the question is, what does sex smell like, / what does semen taste like, and other sensory questions about sex. But it's actually perfectly normal to be curious about these things. And even if a student is maybe asking as a joke, what we find is that that joke is rooted in real curiosity. So personally, I know that myself and my coworkers will never pass off a question like this. It's a real teachable moment. And to answer that question, sex might smell like a mixture of sweat. It might smell like you and your partner's natural body odor, because everyone smells different. Your body down there, everything smells different person to person. And then maybe latex and lube, depending on which barrier methods you might be using or if you are using lube. The taste of semen differs from person to person depending on the diet. Number 5, is it normal to masturbate / do girls masturbate / can masturbation cause a decrease in sexual sensitivity? Let's unpack this question that's all about masturbation. Firstly, masturbation is normal, and it is normal for everyone to masturbate regardless of their gender. So girls, boys, anyone, everyone masturbates, it's normal. Masturbation is nothing to feel guilty or shameful about, although some people may feel this way because of cultural, religious, or spiritual beliefs. And if you find yourself feeling this way, you can of course always reach out to someone here in health education, but it might be helpful for you to reach out to an older member of the community that you're a part of. Typically, masturbation does not cause a decrease in sexual sensitivity, and in fact, studies have supported that masturbation can actually do the opposite, and it can increase desire, arousal, and sexual function. In people with vaginas and vulvas, it is a myth that too much clitoris stimulation can cause permanent nerve damage or numbness. So this is a myth that's been perpetrated a lot, that if someone with clitoris is masturbating too often or using a vibrator too often or at too high a speed, that it can cause sensitivity so that the person can no longer orgasm or can't orgasm with a partner. But this is completely false, and like I said, there's a study that actually supports the opposite of that. In people with penises, however, sometimes if a person's grip is too tight, it can decrease sensation, and doctors recommend switching techniques to restore sensitivity levels during sex if this does happen to you. Number 6, can a penis break, or can a penis get stuck inside a vagina? You can't break your penis the same way that you break a bone, but a penis fracture is possible while the penis is erect, and it might feel similar to a bone fracture. It hurts really, really bad. There is a name for the condition in which a penis gets stuck inside a vagina, and this is called penis captivus, but it's so rare that many people think it's a myth, and there have been so few cases that there's really not a lot of research done on it. But even if it does happen, and in the cases that they have reported this happening, it's unlikely to cause harm to either partner, and you will become unstuck from each other, so to speak, very quickly. Number 7, I like when this question comes up because it provides a really great opportunity to talk about the differences between a person's gender and their genitalia. So this question is, can men get pregnant, and can men have a period? The idea that men can't get pregnant or menstruate comes from the myth that gender equals genitals. And we know that a person's gender identity sometimes does not align with the genitals that they were born with. So when we say things like all men have penises or all women have vaginas, that is actually not true, and it's not rooted in science. Anyone with a properly functioning reproductive system has the ability to get pregnant and menstruate regardless of their gender identity. Hey y'all, it is Hannah from the future here editing this video, and I just want to clarify that when I say anyone with a properly functioning reproductive system, what I mean by that is anybody with the reproductive system that is needed to get pregnant and to have a baby. And if you're watching this and you decide that you would like more information on this particular topic, let us know in the comments and we can do an entire separate video on gender identity and sexuality and the sex that you're assigned at birth, all of that stuff. And we actually do have videos already that go over some of those topics. So let us know if you need more information and we'll help you get it. Number 8, and this is actually a question I received in the classroom one time. How do gay people have sex? And this is by no means a silly or stupid question. I think the reason that a lot of people might ask this question is because, unfortunately, in the mainstream media, we typically only see one kind of sex being shown, right? It's typically heterosexual, cisgender people having penetrative sex. And then a lot of times in sex ed classes and health classes growing up, that's also the only kind of sex that we discuss or that examples are given of. However, there are many, many, many ways people of all sexualities and all genders have sex. And just because one gay couple has sex one way doesn't mean that all gay couples have sex that way. How people choose to have sex is up to them as long as everyone is practicing enthusiastic consent. Number 9. Is sex supposed to hurt? Contrary to what you may have heard, sex is never supposed to hurt or cause pain or discomfort, even for people with vaginas who are having penetrative sex for the first time. Yes, even them. If you take things slow, if you communicate with your partner, if you engage in foreplay so that natural lubricants are being produced, and if you use extra lube, sex will be the pleasurable experience that it is supposed to be between two people, not one thing that is happening to another person. And then lastly, number 10. Is it weird if I don't want to have sex at all? This is not weird at all. It is completely normal. Some people don't have sex until well into adulthood. Some people may never want to have sex ever, and they don't, and that's fine. Some people might choose abstinence, and then they become sexually active, and then they decide that they want to be abstinent again. That's fine too. You may have heard something like, all teenage boys want is sex, or all teenage boys think about is sex, but this isn't true either. Teenagers and people of all genders and sexualities have different desires, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with not wanting to have sex. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you found it informative, and most of all, I hope that we were able to break down that stigma that there is even such thing as a stupid or dumb sex ed question. There absolutely isn't. And like I said, we've heard it all, and we are here to answer any questions that you might have. And let us know if you need more clarification on any of these topics. And also let us know if you have a topic you want us to cover next.